Every generation of archaeologists inherits a version of history that the previous generation decided was complete. Then the ground opens up and proves them wrong. This is the second installment of our Ancient Discovery series, and this one hits different, because several of these aren't just new finds. They're discoveries that someone didn't want found. Scans that were suppressed, sites that were left deliberately unexcavated, structures hiding beneath structures that we've been standing on for centuries. A pyramid hidden inside a pyramid in Peru. A second sphinx buried under a sand dune at Giza, detected by radar last month. And a lost labyrinth beneath Egypt that Herodotus described as greater than the pyramids, found by ground-penetrating radar in 2008, then buried again by a suppression order. 10 entries. All documented. All disturbing. Starting from 10. Egypt, February 2025. The last royal tomb discovered near the Valley of the Kings was Tutankhamun's, found in 1922. For 103 years, every major excavation in the area came up empty. In February 2025, an Egyptian-British team announced the confirmed discovery of the tomb of Pharaoh Thutmose II, the husband of Hatshepsut, one of Egypt's most powerful female rulers, stepfather of the conqueror Thutmose III, one of the 18th dynasty's most significant figures. The tomb was built under a series of ancient waterfalls, the kind of location specifically chosen to make detection difficult. Alabaster jars inscribed with his name confirmed the identification. His mummy had already been found in a royal cache decades ago, moved in antiquity by priests protecting royal remains from tomb robbers. The tomb itself was unknown. 103 years between major royal tomb discoveries. Then 2025 delivers two, Thutmose II and the Abydos dynasty tomb, within months of each other. Egypt is not finished. It is just getting started. Number 9. Amazon Rainforest, 2025. LiDAR scans of the Guatemalan rainforest, the same technology that revealed Caracol in Belize, identified a Maya megacity covering over 2,000 square kilometers beneath the jungle canopy. The site is called El Mirador. Plazas, causeways, pyramids, canal systems, an urban infrastructure of extraordinary scale, hidden under vegetation so dense that ground-level survey was physically impossible. But the more significant finding in 2025 was in the Amazon basin itself, where researchers identified the remains of an ancient agricultural civilization covering thousands of square miles, featuring raised field systems, geometric earthworks, and evidence of organized urban planning for a population of at least 10,000. The Amazon was supposed to be pristine wilderness, too ecologically fragile and sparse to support large civilizations. That assumption has been wrong. The people were there, in significant numbers. With sophisticated engineering, their civilization collapsed. The jungle grew back. For centuries, we assumed it had always been empty. LiDAR is showing us it wasn't. Number 8. Mexico, 2025. Inside the Balamacu Ecological Reserve on Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, a protected area, researchers conducting a LiDAR survey for environmental purposes accidentally found something they were not looking for. A previously unknown Maya city, plazas, pyramids, canals, a full urban complex hidden under the rainforest canopy. They named it Valeriana. It had never been recorded, never mapped, never suspected. It was found by accident during a scan designed for a completely different purpose. This is the pattern now. We point LiDAR at a jungle for environmental research, and we find a city, every time. Without exception. How many cities are under those canopies that we haven't scanned yet? The answer, based on current data, is many. We are not finding lost cities. We are finding that the concept of lost was always our limitation, not theirs. Number 7. Peru, 2025. 1 kilometer from Caral, the sacred city of the Caral Supe civilization, the oldest known civilization in the Americas at approximately 5,000 years old. Archaeologists excavating at the Chupasigaro site found a previously unknown pyramidal structure, quadrangular. 3 rectangular platforms. A central staircase, dating to approximately 3000 BC, contemporaneous with the earliest Egyptian pyramids. But here is what makes this entry different from a standard discovery. Beneath the pyramid, they found something older. A ceremonial complex predating the visible structure. A stage-like platform with high-relief carvings and evidence of ritual use that is significantly older than the pyramid built on top of it. Someone built a new pyramid directly on top of an older sacred site. The older structure was deliberately buried, hidden, preserved inside the new construction. This is a pattern found across Mesoamerica and South America. Pyramids built inside pyramids, older layers deliberately concealed by newer construction. Sometimes it was ritual. Sometimes it was political, erasing the sacred sites of a previous culture by building over them. At Chupa whatever was being honored in that older platform was important enough to be buried rather than destroyed. The new pyramid became its tomb. Number 6. Ithaca, Greece, 2025. On the island of Ithaca, the legendary home of Odysseus, archaeologists confirmed the existence of a physical sanctuary dedicated to the hero. Stone terraces, an altar, votive offerings, a tile bearing the name Odysseus in Greek. We already covered this in our first Ancient Discoveries episode, but it belongs here again because of what it implies. Troy was myth. Schliemann found it. Mycenae was myth. He found that too. Knossos, the palace of King Minos and the Minotaur, was myth. Arthur Evans found it in 1900. Now a physical cult site for Odysseus, on the exact island where he was supposed to have lived. The pattern is consistent. What ancient Greeks described as history, later scholars reclassified as mythology, and archaeologists keep finding the physical evidence for. The question is not whether Odysseus existed as a historical figure. The question is, how many other things we currently classify as mythology are actually compressed memory of real events? If ancient discoveries that keep proving the conventional timeline wrong keep you watching, subscribe. Things That Shouldn't Exist goes this deep every single week. Number 5. Giza, Egypt, March 26, 2026. Less than a month ago, Italian radar engineer Filippo Biondi announced findings from satellite radar scans of the Giza Plateau. His claim: beneath a large sand mound on the plateau, approximately 108 feet tall, the scans show a structure that mirrors the dimensions and orientation of the Great Sphinx. A second sphinx, buried under hardened sand. He describes the evidence as geometric correlation. Lines drawn between the three main pyramids and the known sphinx point directly to the location of the mound. The alignment is not random, it is precise. He also cited the Dream Stele, a granite slab placed in front of the existing sphinx by Pharaoh Thutmose IV around 1401 BC. The stele depicts two sphinxes, a pair of feline guardians. Egyptologists have always interpreted this as symbolic. Biondi's argument: it was literal. He reported finding vertical shafts and horizontal passages in scans of the subsurface, an underground megastructure mirroring what exists beneath the first sphinx. He said he is 80% confident. He is awaiting permission from Egyptian authorities to excavate the mound. Zahi Hawass, Egypt's former minister of Antiquities, dismissed the findings. He said extensive excavations have yielded nothing. Hawass has also dismissed the hidden chambers in Menkaure and the Hawara Labyrinth. His dismissals have a pattern worth noting. The mound is there. The radar data exists. Nobody has dug yet. Number 4. Back to Thutmose II, but specifically what the tomb suggests about what's still missing. The tomb was built under ancient waterfalls, a deliberate concealment strategy. The structure shows evidence of flooding damage from those waterfalls across centuries. More significantly, the tomb was largely empty. Thutmose II's mummy was found decades ago in a royal cache, moved by priests protecting it from tomb robbers. But his burial goods, his treasures, the objects interred with him, largely gone. Where did they go? Tomb robbers are the obvious answer. But the scale of the removal, and the specific location chosen for the tomb, a location designed to be inaccessible, suggests something more deliberate. There is a theory among Egyptologists that certain royal tombs were systematically stripped by the priests themselves during periods of political crisis, not by robbers, but by the state, using the wealth of dead kings to fund living crises. If that's true, the contents of dozens of royal tombs were redistributed into the Egyptian economy thousands of years ago, and we will never find them. A royal tomb found after 103 years, and it's already been emptied by someone who got there first. Number 3. And this one needs a dedicated moment. The Chupa discovery in Peru is entry 7 on this list, but the broader phenomenon it represents deserves a higher ranking. Across Mesoamerica, Mexico, Guatemala, Belize, archaeologists have found multiple instances of pyramids built directly inside or over older pyramids. The Temple of Kukulkan at Chichen Itza has 3 nested structures, a pyramid inside a pyramid inside a pyramid. The Great Pyramid of Cholula, the largest pyramid by volume on Earth, has at least 4 nested structures inside it. At Chupa they found an older ceremonial platform buried beneath a 5,000-year-old pyramid. The question this raises is not archaeological. It's historical. When a civilization buries its own sacred site under new construction, What are they hiding? What is preserved inside those inner structures that they did not want destroyed, but also did not want accessed? The innermost chambers of the Temple of Kukulkan contain a red jaguar throne and a chak mul, ritual objects from an older culture. Preserved, sealed, left inside the newer pyramid, for reasons we don't fully understand. We keep finding things inside the things we've already found. Number 2. And this is the one that should be making international headlines every single day. Herodotus, the ancient Greek historian who visited Egypt around 450 BC, described a structure near the pyramid of Amenemhat III at Hawara that he called greater than all the pyramids combined. He wrote, "I visited this labyrinth and found it to surpass description. It has 12 covered courts. It contains 3,000 rooms, of which half are underground and half above ground." He said it made the pyramids look modest by comparison. Strabo visited it. Diodorus Siculus described it. Ancient authors from multiple civilizations independently documented the same massive structure at the same location. Then it disappeared. Not physically. It was destroyed over centuries, its stone quarried for other construction. By the 19th century, all that remained above ground were fragments and rubble. In 2008, a joint expedition, the Mataha Project, involving Egypt's National Research Institute of Astronomy and Geophysics, Ghent University in Belgium, and other international partners, conducted ground-penetrating radar surveys of the Hawara site. They found it, a massive underground structure beneath the surface. Chambers, passages, a complex matching the scale that ancient authors described. The radar data was published in a scientific journal in late 2008. Then the Secretary General of Egypt's Supreme Council of Antiquities, Zahi Hawass, issued what multiple sources describe as a suppression order, citing Egyptian national security. The team was denied permission to continue. The site was not excavated. As of today, 2026, the Hawara Labyrinth has never been excavated. The radar data confirms something massive is down there. The Egyptian government will not allow anyone to dig. A 4,000-year-old structure described by ancient historians as one of the greatest buildings in the history of the world, found by modern scanning technology, deliberately left unopened. That is not archaeology. That is a decision. Number 1 is not a single discovery. It is what all 10 of these entries have in common. A pyramid hiding an older pyramid in Peru. A second sphinx beneath a sand mound at Giza, radar detected, unexcavated. A labyrinth that ancient historians unanimously described as one of the greatest structures on Earth, found by radar in 2008, suppressed by a national security order, still unexcavated. The Great Pyramid sealed chamber, robots inside, announcement pending. Hidden voids in Menkaure, unexcavated. An entire erased dynasty at Abydos, emerging from the sand anyway. Maya megacities under jungles across 3 countries. An Amazon civilization that wasn't supposed to exist. Ritual burial sites in underwater Mexican caves going back 13,000 years. The pattern is this. The discoveries keep coming. They keep being larger than expected, older than expected, and more sophisticated than the conventional timeline allows. And in specific, documented cases, the Hawara Labyrinth most clearly, when the discovery is significant enough, someone decides it should not be excavated. Not because the resources aren't available, not because the technology isn't ready, because someone decided it shouldn't be opened. That is the detail that separates these from ordinary archaeological finds. We are not just discovering things. We are discovering things that someone decided we shouldn't know about. The ground doesn't care about that decision. It keeps giving them up anyway.